Pay close attention to what I'm about to tell you now, because this will completely change how you understand female desire. Imagine a woman's desire is a high-performance engine, and you're standing there in front of the control panel with no idea which buttons to press. You see all those levers, lights flashing, but you don't know what each one does. That's exactly how most men feel when they try to spark a woman's genuine interest. And you know what the worst part is? You've probably already missed several incredible opportunities because you didn't know there are secret fantasies operating in the female subconscious that completely control their desire. I'm not talking about the nonsense you see in men's magazines. I'm talking about deep psychological triggers that few men know about. Have you ever felt that frustration of being with a beautiful, intelligent, interesting woman and still feeling like something is missing? As if she's physically there but her mind is somewhere else? Or even worse, have you been in a situation where everything seemed to be going well, and suddenly her interest just evaporates? This happens because you're trying to play a game without knowing the rules. You're trying to drive that high-performance engine without knowing where the pedals are. And the result is always the same: lukewarm dates, conversations that go nowhere, that feeling that you're always chasing and never catching up. Now answer me something. How many times have you stayed up at night replaying a conversation in your head, trying to understand where you went wrong? How many opportunities have you let slip away because you simply didn't know how to keep her interest alive? The truth that almost no one realizes is that female desire doesn't work like male desire. While your desire is like a light switch, on and off, hers is like a bonfire that needs to be constantly fed with the right kind of fuel. And the secret fantasies I'm about to reveal are exactly that special fuel. Look, after more than a decade studying the psychology of desire and relationship dynamics, I've discovered patterns that repeat in practically all women. These are archetypal fantasies that operate at the deepest level of the female subconscious. And before you think this is manipulation, let me clarify something for you. Understanding these fantasies isn't about deceiving anyone. It's about aligning your communication and behavior with what they already naturally desire. It's like learning to speak the emotional language that resonates with the deepest core of the female psyche. Does that make sense so far? I'm going to give you the complete map now. There are 5 main secret fantasies that control female sexual desire. Pay close attention, because each one is a master key that can open doors you didn't even know existed. First secret fantasy: the fantasy of the mysterious man she needs to decipher. Look, women are naturally attracted to enigmas. The female brain is programmed to seek meaning and emotional connection in everything. When you reveal everything about yourself right away, when you lay all your cards on the table, you kill the mystery. And without mystery, there's no fantasy. Think of it like a book. If someone tells you the ending right at the beginning, you lose interest in reading the rest. The same thing happens with female attraction. She needs to feel that there are still layers of you to discover, stories to unravel, depths to explore. This doesn't mean lying or creating a false persona. It means pacing your revelations, sharing your vulnerabilities strategically, always leaving something in the air that piques her curiosity. When she asks about your past, you don't just dump your entire life story on her. You tell an intriguing piece and then change the subject. When she wants to know your future plans, you give a hint and let her imagine the rest. The tension of not knowing completely is what feeds this fantasy. It's what makes her think about you when she's alone. It's what turns an ordinary guy into someone fascinating. Mystery is power. Can you feel the difference? Second secret fantasy: the fantasy of the dominant protector who knows exactly what he wants. Studies show that biologically, women are attracted to men who demonstrate leadership and protective abilities. But I'm not talking about being an authoritarian Neanderthal. I'm talking about a subtle, confident dominance. She wants to feel that you're capable of making decisions, that you won't keep asking her where she wants to go for dinner 20 times, that when you're together, she can relax and trust that you'll take care of things. This activates a primitive trigger for security and comfort. You know when you're with her and an unexpected situation arises? That's your moment to shine. Don't panic. Don't be indecisive. Take calm, assertive action. If the restaurant is packed, you already have a plan B. If it starts raining during your outing, you turn it into an adventure, not a problem. This fantasy also manifests in how you communicate. You don't ask permission for everything. You suggest with confidence. Instead of asking if she wants to go out with you, you tell her you're taking her to check out that amazing place. The difference is subtle, but the impact is gigantic. Dominant protector. Is this starting to make sense? Third secret fantasy. The fantasy of the man desired by other women. This is ultra rare for anyone to openly admit, but the concept of pre-selection is one of the most powerful triggers for female desire. When a woman perceives that you are desired by others, something instantly changes in how she sees you. It's like when you walk into a store and see a huge line for something. Automatically, you think it must be good. The same psychological principle operates in female desire. If other women desire you, there must be something special about you. But be careful, I'm not telling you to go around flirting with other women in front of her. That's amateur and counterproductive. I'm talking about subtle signals. The way the waitress smiles at you, how you naturally interact with women without seeming desperate, how you have female friends who clearly admire you. You can activate this fantasy through stories. Casually mention how your coworker always asks for your opinion, how that friend of yours said you give great advice. These are breadcrumbs that lead her imagination exactly where you want it to go. Social preselection is an internal radar every woman possesses. Are you activating that radar now? Fourth secret fantasy. The fantasy of the rebel with a cause who breaks the right rules. Women are fascinated by men who don't follow the common social script, but who do so with purpose and intelligence. It's not about being a generic bad boy. It's about having your own codes and living by them. She wants to see that you're not just another social robot doing what everyone else does, that you have your own opinions, even if controversial, that you're not afraid to disagree with her when necessary, that you put your values above others' approval. This manifests in small acts of conscious rebellion. You take her to an unusual place for the first date instead of the cliché dinner. You express an unpopular opinion with confidence. You break small social conventions in a charming way, like making a toast with water or dancing when there's no music. The key here is that your rebellion has to have substance. It's not rebellion for rebellion's sake. It's the authentic expression of who you are, without apology. When she sees that you have the courage to be yourself in a world of copies, it ignites a flame that few men can light. Rebel with purpose. Are you feeling the power of this? Fifth secret fantasy. The fantasy of the intense emotional journey only you can provide. Women live in search of deep emotional experiences. They want to feel the full spectrum of emotions. Tension, relief, surprise, anticipation, mystery, revelation. And they want a man who is the maestro of this emotional symphony. You need to understand that for her, the quality of the emotional experience is more important than any material thing you can offer. She will forever remember how you made her feel, not the expensive restaurant you paid for. She will fantasize about moments of tension and emotional release, not the gift you gave her. Create this journey through contrasts. Moments of intense closeness, followed by a slight distancing. Deep conversations interspersed with lighthearted banter. Vulnerability followed by strength. It's this emotional dance that keeps her desire constantly high. Think of it like directing a movie where she's the star and you're the director. You control the rhythm, the intensity, the plot twists. When she least expects it, you change the tone. When she thinks she knows you, you reveal a new facet. This controlled emotional unpredictability is absolutely irresistible. Emotional roller coaster. Can you visualize the impact? Now let me tell you about the desire code, a framework I developed for you to apply these fantasies systematically and naturally. There are 4 steps that form the word code, easy to remember. C for comprehension. First, you need to observe and understand which fantasy resonates most with each specific woman. Not all women respond the same way to every trigger. Some are more attracted to mystery, others to protective dominance. You learn this by paying attention to the stories she tells, the movies she likes, the men she admires. O for observation. You need to identify the signs of when a fantasy is being activated. dilated pupils, a change in voice tone, subtle physical closeness, more personal questions. These are the indicators that you're on the right track. When you see these signs, you intensify. When you don't, you adjust your approach, D for direction. Here, you consciously direct your actions and communication to activate the right fantasies. You calibrate your stories, your behavior, your body language to resonate with her psychological triggers. This is where the magic happens. E for empowerment. You use this knowledge not to manipulate, but to create deeper, more authentic connections. When you understand what truly moves her desire, you can provide experiences that go beyond the superficial. You become the man she always fantasized about meeting. Now you might be thinking, but isn't this manipulation? I don't want to deceive anyone. Let me clarify something important. Manipulation is when you deceive someone to get something only for yourself. What I'm teaching you is alignment. It's understanding the female emotional language and speaking that language fluently. Think of it this way. If you go to France, you learn French to communicate better, right? That's not manipulation. It's respect and intelligence. The same applies here. You are learning the language of female desire to create deeper, more satisfying connections for both of you. Besides, these fantasies already exist in her subconscious. You're not creating anything artificial. You're just being the man who naturally activates these triggers. It's about authenticity aligned with psychological understanding. Let me give you a practical example of how all this works together. Imagine you're on a first date. You're at a busy bar. The ambient music creates an intimate atmosphere. The murmur of voices around you isolates the two of you in a bubble. You start by activating the mystery fantasy. You tell a story about a challenge you faced, but you don't give away all the details. She asks for more, and you smile and say, "That's for another day." First spark ignited. Then the waiter takes a while to get to you. Instead of complaining or getting impatient, you take the lead. You take her hand and say, "You know a better spot nearby." Dominant protector fantasy activated. You're in control of the situation. On the way, you pass a group of women who are clearly looking at you. You naturally greet one of them, quickly introduce her to your date, and keep walking. Pre-selection subtly demonstrated. At the new place, you break protocol. Instead of sitting at the table, the hostess indicates, "You choose another with a better view." A small act of rebellion with purpose. You make your own rules. During the conversation, you alternate between moments of deep connection, where you look into her eyes and talk about your values, and light-hearted moments where you both laugh at something silly. You're orchestrating the emotional journey. She never knows what's coming next. Do you see how each element fits together naturally? It's not a robotic script. It's a dance where you lead with awareness and purpose. And the result is an experience she can't forget. One that keeps reverberating in her mind days later. The fatal mistake most men make is thinking that female desire works like male desire. They think it's just a matter of physical appearance or financial status. Of course, that can help, but it's not what truly controls deep desire. Female desire is built in layers. Emotional, psychological, even spiritual layers. When you activate these secret fantasies, you are touching all these layers simultaneously. That's why the effect is so powerful. But here's an important warning. With great power comes great responsibility. This knowledge that few apply can completely transform your love life. But use it with integrity. Don't be the guy who uses this to play with other people's feelings. Use it to build real connections, to find someone special and keep the flame alive, to transform lukewarm relationships into something extraordinary. When you master the art of activating these fantasies, you will never again be just another guy. You'll be the guy she can't get out of her head, the one who appears in her dreams, the one who makes her heart race when her phone rings. You'll be the fantasy that became reality. Always remember this. Female desire is not an impossible mystery to solve. It's a code that can be deciphered. And now you have the keys: secret fantasies, female desire, control, authentic attraction, subconscious. These words should be etched in your mind now. The question that remains is simple. Will you continue in the dark, pressing random buttons on that control panel, hoping something works? Or will you use this rare and precious knowledge to become the man who activates the deepest fantasies? Most men will never have access to this information. They'll continue to be frustrated, confused, chasing shadows. But you are no longer part of that majority. You have just received the instruction manual they will never see. Now it's up to you. Apply what you've learned. Observe the reactions. Adjust when necessary. And most importantly, be patient. Mastering this art takes time, but every small progress will show you how powerful this knowledge truly is. One last thing before you go. If this content has opened your mind to possibilities you didn't know existed, if you felt that someone finally explained what really matters, then like this video now, subscribe to the channel before you forget, because this is just the beginning. There's much more deep and practical knowledge coming your way. Knowledge that will continue to transform your understanding of attraction, relationships, and human dynamics, but only if you're here to receive it. Remember that high-performance engine metaphor I used at the beginning? Now you know the buttons and levers. You have the manual. The ignition is in your hand. The question is, will you start that engine and feel its full power, or will you leave it sitting in the garage? The choice is yours. But if you've made it this far, I know you're not the type to let opportunities pass by. You're the type to act, to apply, to transform knowledge into results. So go for it. The world is full of incredible women waiting for a man who understands these secret fantasies. A man who knows how to activate true desire. A man like you are about to become. The game has changed. The rules are now yours. Don't waste any more time guessing. The time to master the game of attraction is now. This video was your shortcut to understanding what truly matters to them. Pay attention one last time. Secret fantasies control female desire. You now know what they are. You have the code to activate them. You understand the difference between superficial desire and deep desire. Wake up, man. Life's too short for lukewarm relationships, for shallow connections, for wondering what they really want. You deserve more. They deserve more. And now you can deliver more. This knowledge is yours. Use it wisely. Use it with purpose. Use it to create something extraordinary. Because at the end of the day, it's not about conquering women. It's about becoming the man who naturally attracts the best in them. And that, my friend, is true power. The power to turn fantasy into reality. The power to create connections that transcend the ordinary. The power to finally understand and be understood at the deepest level possible. Are you ready? Then start now. The engine is on. The control panel is in front of you. And the secret fantasies that control female desire are now your tools. Use them well. The future of your relationships depends on it.